Good morning. Good morning. Remember, clean teeth, clean lines here with Normal Bill. Today, I want to talk about the book Fast and Cold, A Guide to Alaska Whitewater. Definitely a book I highly recommend if you want to travel and do something new. If you're tired of what's in the lower 48, you can go to the upper one, Alaska. So today, there's a famous page in here that we all talk about in the creature craft world in the Wu-Tang gang, creature cabins. It's not a fan. It's not whatever. It's a gang. So that's what John Metz says. Anyway, again, this is a great book. We always talk about page 76, and you're like, well, why do you talk about page 76? Well, because the first ascensionists, when they tried it, like, it's a total shutdown fest. It's called. You can see here. If I can get it on there close. It's called Chakatana. I think it's an Indian name. I'll have to look it up to say it better, but it's Chakatana River. And it says difficulty, unrunnable for about 5 miles at all, but the lowest flows plus whatever amount of class 6. This is what excites a creature crafter. Let's read that again. Unrunnable for about 5 miles at all, but the lowest flows plus whatever amount of class 6 you care to try. That sounds exciting to a creature crafter that you would like to try, along with easier sections lower down. The river, after the first run, Embick said that he hadn't seen water so bad since, since Pakistan in 1984. Roach said that Devil's Cane of the Susitna might be used as a warm-up run for this one, but that it wouldn't be boatable above 1,000 CFS. So this river to get to 1,000 CFS is like literally a week or 2 week window. It's normally in the 3,000 to 15,000 CF range. And so because of that, it's the first 5 miles you'll read here. Gradient from the lake at 1,142 feet to sea level at Crook Inlet in 42 miles, averaging 27 feet per mile. The maximum is the unbelievable for a river this size, 300 feet and 2.4 miles, or 124 feet per mile between mile 5.3, starting at the lake and mile 8.2. So pretty much from 5 1/4 to 8 1/4, it's on like Donkey Kong. So for a 3 mile section, it doesn't stop. Can you imagine a 3 mile rapid? Flows from 5,000 to 15,000 June through September. And they say you need it at 1,000. So you're going to be really looking forward to catch it. Peaking in July, no longer gauged. At 1,000, flow is normally achieved by the end of May and is reached again by the end of November. So you can run it in May or end of May or end of November at 1,000 CFS. So you pretty much got like two 10-day windows if you want it at 1,000. Any other time, you're going to be running it between 5 and 15. And it talks about river-wide holes in here, like the whole way down. Maps, there's a map, USGS, Chakotna River and Chakotnama Lake. 24,000 dam site maps, 1960 are superb and have 20-foot contour intervals, but are out of print. And this book is old itself. And are out of print and have 20-foot intervals, but are out of print. The river is otherwise covered by Tynek A-5, A-6, A-7, Kenai D-5, Kenai 1, semicolon 250,000, showing the Cook Inlet crossing. Delorme 8, semicolon 1. Yeah, you got to go. Not only do you got to do a crazy river, then you got to do a crazy inlet crossing. And it's like a 15-mile inlet crossing, and you get sucked out into the ocean. So if you ain't watching, you can die on takeout. So you can die at put in, you can die halfway down, you can die at takeout. So this is what makes it fun. Definitely an adventure. Put in, fly in by air. That sounds like an adventure to me. When you got to fly in That's awesome. Can you fly in first class if you're a raft guy with your chest sticking out? So fly in by air, float plane from Lake Hood in Anchorage, or a little cheaper from Kenai to the lake from Anchorage in 1960. The cost for a beaver on floats was around $640. I'm sure that's double or triple. I'm sure it's 12 or 1800 bucks now to do that flight, including some time to scout, to photograph, and to do an airdrop of gear. The ideal of an airdrop should be strongly considered to place camping gear below the major difficulties, of course. Be sure you can find the location from the river. The drop packages should be small enough to fit them through the camera hatch of a beaver, about 15 feet in diameter. Is that 15? No, 15 inches. 15 inches ain't that big. This says 15 inches in diameter. From Anchorage, try Russ Flying Services, and there's a phone number. And from Kenai, try Alaska West Air. So take out, join the larger MacArthur River and reach the ocean on the west side of the Crook Inlet, about 25 shoreline miles south of Tyonek. Then, unfortunately, the only way out is to paddle across Cook Inlet, braving a wild stretch of open water rarely navigated by any small boats. As the tidal range in the inlet is 30 feet and tidal currents reach 8 knots, a kayaker could easily be overwhelmed by the power of the tide, without considering the very real additional risk of severe wind and sea conditions and ships and barge traffic. Before even considering the crossing, detailed consultation with a maritime navigation expert is mandatory. Check with Bill Lorch of Alaska Maritime Agencies in Anchorage or the Southwest Alaska Pilots Association in Homer to obtain a printout of tidal current speeds as well as tidal heights. Consider also mandatory both marine and aviation radios accessible from the kayak cockpit during the crossing, and be sure to record the frequencies of the Kenai Tower, 122.0 megahertz, Kenai VOR 117.60 megahertz, and your potential saviors, the rig tending helicopters. Flares, smoke signals, and a signal mirror should also be carried. Though the straight line distance between closer shorelines across the inlet is only 10 miles, on the first run, Embrick and Roach paddled a huge S-curve 29 miles in 7 hours, being swept down to Slanoff Beach north of Kenai. The pair did, thanks to Bill Lorch, have a computer printout of predicted tidal heights and velocities, did carefully pick an optimal time and course, and because of their background in kayak racing, were able to maintain 4 knots on the flat. Without all that, they have ended up in Nisky or who knows where. So again, that's just the first couple pages of this, and it gives a description and the history. There's like a little bit more to do. So yeah, that was the takeout. So then it talks about the characteristic and the description. So again, this is page 76, and it's on like Donkey Kong. And when it's at 5,000, instead of like a 3-mile rapid, they say it's like 25 miles of a rapid. It's kind of like what's that other river? The South Fork of the Salmon. They say the South Fork of the Salmon at really high water is one long rapid because it's just continuous. So that's what gets us excited, keeps us motivated to go boating. And it says the Susitna would be a warm-up. The Susitna is huge. The Susitna's last hole has eaten what they call those things, jet boats. It's eaten aluminum-built jet boats. So yeah, this is Crazy Bill TV. Just wanted to bring you about page 76. Again, it's the book, Fast and Cold. Highly recommend it. A Guide to Whitewater, Alaskan Whitewater. It's Andrew Embrick is the guy that wrote it. You can see it's an old school helmet. That's a 27-pound life jacket because it's high water. But this is a great book. It's a great read. Ain't just a great read. It's great advice to get you started on an expedition to Alaska. It'll excite you. It'll make you want to save money to go to north. I mean, I know gas isn't cheap to drive to Canada if you drive up, or you can fly up. You can sucker some friends into to drive a big old truck full of stuff, or bring up boats, either kayaks, cat boats, or creature crafts. So anyway, this is Bill Guyman with Crazy Bill TV. And as always, it's class 2, plop and drop.